On the news, Senate engages NDLEA, sets up committee to investigate drug-related allegations.
For the protection of the Senate and other senators, we must do something about this.
House of Representatives to investigate states of kidnapping and armed robbery in the FCT.
This heinous crime has sent shockwaves through our community.
Plus, Speaker Tajuddin Abbas meets development partners on driving national reforms.
As the largest democracy in Africa, if Nigeria succeeds, Africa succeeds and the world progresses.
Good evening and welcome to NTA Parliamentary News. I am Abubakar Garadima. Senate has set up an ad hoc committee to engage the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA over drug-related allegations it reportedly made against the Deputy Majority Leader of the Senate, Senator Ayilola Ashuru. Senator Ashuru had, at the commencement of plenary Tuesday, come under a matter of privilege, pointing to the information that emanated from the NDLEA. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The decision of the Senate to engage the NDLEA on the matter was based on the information that the allegation may be connected to remarks of Senator Ashuru during debate on the floor of the Senate on the 15th of October 2024.
I cannot even identify what we call cannabis or any drug. Beyond taking water, I don't take alcohol. I am of opinion that for the protection of myself as a member of this Allo Chamber, for the protection of the Senate and other senators, we must do something about this.
I understand the person that went on television was even alluding to the fact that you made contributions on the floor and trying to quote what you said on the floor, the Constitution and the laws of the land. Anything you say here is privileged. It's covered with immunity.
The ad hoc committee mandated to conduct the investigation and make recommendations was given 4 weeks to report back. Senate passed for second reading 2 bills, including bill to establish National Food Reserve Agency, sponsored by Senator Saliu Mustafa.
Establishing an agency for the purpose of food reserve is essential to enhance food and nutritional security. A strategic grain reserve will stabilize staple foods prices for the benefit of both consumers and farmers.
The agency will be charged with the responsibility of buying up surplus with a view to storing it during the period of harvest. And when there is scarcity, the agency will now bring it out.
In another development, Senate Committee on Power has engaged management of the National Power Training Institute as it seeks improvements in the sector.
All we require is the equipment, which we don't manufacture.
I'd also like to learn from the management the milestones that you have so far achieved in the area of training our people, especially in the new areas of solar installations and meter installations.
If young Nigerians are trained in the area of solar, they can be on their own, they can install solar. We have testimonies that quite those who have trained, they are installing solar all over the place, especially in Abuja. So we can extrapolate this and then make it possible in all across the six geopolitical. The same thing with electrical installation.
The institute provides training for power sector personnel in Nigeria and some countries in Africa. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Senate is to carry out thorough investigation into the frequent incidents of power outage in parts of the country with a view to finding solutions to challenges in the sector. This was when Senate Committee on Power engaged the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency in continuation of its oversight to strengthen agencies in the power sector for efficient service delivery. Correspondent Joshua Ojito reports that the committee expresses concern over recent grid disturbances and says it will engage all relevant stakeholders to find out immediate and remote causes of the outages. The Senate Committee on Power notes federal government's huge investment in the sector and stressed the need for it to step up their game and deliver reliable electricity to Nigerians.
And Nigerians will hear from us about our feelings and our views on the matter of power outages in the country. Meanwhile, it's kudos to them. The little they're doing it well.
Look forward to more meetings like this because it will go a long way in giving us the guidelines to be able to fulfill our mandates smoothly. And you know, the NEMSA mandate has to do with enforcement of technical standards, technical regulation, testing and certification of all categories of electrical installations across the power value chain.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, has set up a 6-man forensic committee to advise governments on necessary solutions to ensure grid stability. The committee is expected to submit its report by November 1st, 2024. The House of Representatives has mandated its Committee on FCT Police as well as the National Security and Intelligence to conduct a comprehensive investigation into the state of kidnapping and armed robbery within the nation's capital and report back to the House within 3 weeks. The House also denounced the resurgence of one-chance taxi operations in Abuja by unregistered and fraudulent operators, urging the security agencies to arrest the menace. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpe reports.
As we're debating this issue.
In a motion of urgent public importance, Representative Ismail Dabu lamented the death of his legislative aide, Ms. Nima Suleiman, who was brutally murdered on her way home by one-chance taxi operators around Banex Junction in Wuse district of Abuja last Thursday.
Despite paying ransom in full, her life was tragically cut short. Her body was found between the hours of 9 to 10 p.m. at Maitama Ministers Hill Bridge in Abuja. Disturbed that this heinous crime has sent shockwaves through our community, confirming the escalating insecurity in the FCT.
While observing a minute silence for the deceased, the House called on security agencies to clamp down on unregistered and fraudulent taxi operators in order to arrest the menace.
This motion is referred to the committees on FCT, Police, National Security and Intelligence for further legislative action.
The House also condemned the spate of brutal killings in Anambra State.
Over 10 youths were dastardly murdered in Igbo community on the 20th day of October during the celebrations of the New Yam Festival. Sent a delegation to Anambra State to hold discussions with the state government and relevant stakeholders on the escalating insecurity in the state.
Several bills scaled second reading.
A bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended to create new Oyo State with Oyo Town as the capital city from Oyo State. Effect consequential change of the name of the remaining part of Oyo State to Ibadan State with Ibadan City as the capital city.
To establish Institute of Leadership, Entrepreneurship, and Corporate Governance and for related matters.
The House received and adopted the report and recommendations of its ad hoc committee on discrimination against the House of Representatives in the National Honours Award.
There's a need to review the National Honours Act Cap N 43, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004.
We should place apart all other principal officers previously, not only presiding officers, because majority leader of the House or leader of the House and the Senate are normally considered for the same award.
From the National Assembly, Mitari Ikben, NTA News.
A strong legislature is crucial in driving national reforms and ensuring accountability in democratic governance. Speaker, House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas stated this while presenting the Parliamentary Development Program of the House of Development and Technical Partners in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikben again reports on these and other engagements of the House.
The Parliamentary Development Program aims to strengthen legislative capacity of federal lawmakers for promoting sustainable development in the country. Speaker Tajuddin Abbas seeks support from the United Nations Development Program and the Diplomatic Corps to drive the ambitious legislative agenda of the 10th Assembly, which he says aligns with the reforms of the Tinubu administration.
Historically, the legislature has been under-resourced and underdeveloped, especially compared to the executive and judiciary. Therefore, Strengthening the legislature is not only imperative, but also an investment in the stability and progress of our democracy.
The Parliamentary Development Program matters not only for Nigeria's development imperatives, but for the African region. As the largest democracy in Africa, if Nigeria succeeds, Africa succeeds, and the world progresses.
Meanwhile, during an oversight to the Naval Headquarters, members of the House Committee on Navy demanded access to more data from the Naval Command to enable lawmakers ascertain judicious use of budgetary allocations to the Nigerian Navy.
Interventions, other source of funding, particularly as it pertains to all the Naval Command's unit for operation bases and what have you, including the Navy holding, the naval dockyards.
Our activities are offshore, at sea. And of course, you need to have a third eye for you to know what is happening at sea. That is how it applies in all areas of our activities, both in terms of our resources that we require.
The committee emphasized the need for better collaboration between the Navy and Parliament to boost productivity and enhance service delivery. Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The Speaker, House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas, has acknowledged the transformative leadership style of the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, saying it has made the oversight's responsibility of the National Assembly easy. The Speaker made this remark during the flag-off ceremony for the construction of access road to the judges' quarters in Katampe District, Abuja. Onoze Yakubu has the details.
This is the second leg of the ongoing flag-off ceremony of critical infrastructure projects. This time, it is the construction of the 2.7-kilometer access road from the Ring Road 1 by N16, as well as internal roads within the judges' quarters. Stakeholders are optimistic that the project will open a road network from Katampe to other adjoining districts.
With the development of this project and provision of the interchange there, we will completely seal off that U-turn and it will eliminate substantial traffic bottleneck that we experience when commuting from this side to the other side of the district.
Members of the National Assembly pledged their continued support, saying that the transformative drive of the Nyesom Wike-led administration has made their oversight functions a bit easier.
We're going to partner with you, we're going to support you in every way to continue to do this such development to the ordinary people of Nigeria.
You've seen the projects we've done in FCT, and we're doing more before the end of this year and next year coming.
We have witnessed several flag-offs, not just as ceremonial acts, but as milestones. Commitment to make Abuja a world-class city.
FCT Minister Nyesom Wike promises that the project will be delivered to mark the second anniversary of President Tinubu's administration.
Your hard work and expertise made this project a reality. It is through your dedication that we can now enjoy improved access to the judges' quarters.
We have the money for you, so don't be afraid. This is not a project that will cost us 10 billion and we have 500 million naira in the budget now. As I speak to you, we have not less than 70% of the money in the budget.
The minister also hinted that from next week, his administration will begin to clamp down on street beggars. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
And still to come, National Assembly holds retreat to broaden legislative understanding and administration. That will be after the break. Don't go away. You're still watching NTA Parliamentary News coming from Abuja, the nation's capital city. We now move to Kaduna State, where the chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Defense, Babajide Benson, has emphasized the importance of continuous adaptation to the 21st century welfare for effective results. He made the suggestion during oversights to military formations in Kaduna. Benson, while interacting with military leadership and personnel, highlighted the need to stay ahead of evolving security threats and emerging technologies. Gloria Tukun Wudong reports.
The Chairman House Committee on Defense, Babajimi Benson, oversight visit to key military institutions, emphasized the importance of a strong partnership between the National Assembly and the armed forces. The visit aims at ensuring that these agencies receive necessary budgetary support to effectively address the evolving security challenges facing Nigeria.
DICON has so much potential to turn the fortunes of the hardware, software, military equipment significantly. If we produce these items, ensure that they get a factory that can produce this, Nigeria will be self-sufficient.
He commended the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, for its commitment to academic and military excellence, producing leaders who contribute significantly to national and international security efforts. Recognizing the critical role of locally defense production, Benson lauded DICON's achievements in producing locally made firearms and military hardwares, emphasizing its vital contribution to enhancing the operational capacity of armed forces.
Far-reaching decisions were made that will move the trade services and our armed forces forward, which will enable it to build capacity to develop armed forces officers of the middle rank cadre, and armed forces will be the better for it generally.
This visit underscored the commitment of the House Committee on Defense to supporting the armed forces and ensuring their ability to effectively respond to the challenges facing Nigeria. It also highlighted the importance of collaboration, strategic planning, and technological advancement in maintaining national security. Gloria Tukianwadu, NTA News.
Still in Kaduna, the House of Representatives Committee on Aviation Technology and Aerospace has pledged support to the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology Zaria for it to attain its full potential as an aviation institution of world class. Haruna Mohammed reports that the committee, led by its chairman, Abiodun Isiaq Akinlade, gave the remark during oversight to the college.
Members of the committee were introduced to the management team before settling for the business of the day. The committee members, led by their chairman, took time to engage heads of critical sectors, especially the training school, aimed at better positioning the school in line with the renewed hope agenda in the aviation sector. Members were also taken around facilities including the flight line, Boeing 737 full flight simulator, and Symfinity IPT station used for type rating and training of pilots. The committee chairman described the college as a special institution providing personnel for the aviation industry.
And we have noted what they complain about, and the committee will go back to the National Assembly. We are in the process of preparing the budget, and we look at this and see how their budget can be looked into and assist them so that we can have the best aviation college as it has been proposed by the founders of the school.
The Nigerian College of Aviation Technology Zaria, established in the year 1964, with the recent acquisition of platforms, is not only regaining its rightful place as the aviation hub in Africa and beyond, but also saving the country foreign currency. From the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology Zaria, I am Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
As administrative procedures are being put in place for the full implementation of the Supreme Court judgment on local government financial autonomy, the Chairman, Council of Traditional Rulers in Nasarawa State, who is also the Emir of Lafia, His Royal Highness Mohammed Sidi Bagay, has advocated direct deduction of 5% from the Federation account for the Traditional Council to facilitate seamless operations and administration at the local government level. This submission was made at a one-day public hearing on a bill for a law to repeal and reenact the structure, composition, finance, and functions of the local government system in Nasarawa State. Adams Abdelkader completes the report.
Speaker Danla Dijato called on the key stakeholders to actively contribute towards the actualization of the bill, emphasizing the critical role local governments play in promoting grassroots development. He urged participants to provide insight that will shape the framework for greater autonomy.
We believe strongly that we are going to get the input that is expected of us so that the bill will be very rich and it will have a very positive thing to the common man and the grassroots.
His Royal Highness Muhammad Sidi Bagi appreciates the Supreme Court judgment that granted local government financial autonomy and then raised concerns on upward review of the 5% gross allocation accrued to the traditional purse from local government account.
We were given 5% by the federal government of Nigeria. And those 5% of the funds that will accrue to the local council. Whether this is actually what is really on ground now or not, that's the big question and that's the big problem.
Key players such as the Local Government Service Commission and the academia dwell more on challenges, issues and way forward on the creation of development area councils.
So I'm suggesting that this committee should not only repeal that section of the law of local government, but also look at laws that establish or created development areas.
The chairman of the committee says the committee will ensure the law is in conformity with the Supreme Court judgment so that local government administration will be strengthening.
It behoves on us to sit down, consider all the memos, and then see the decisions we can take and make appropriate law. It's not for me to now divulge what intention the House of Assembly or the committee has. Until that is done, we are concluded in the memo submissions.
They say the success of the bill depends on the collective efforts of all involved in ensuring that local government is empowered to function effectively and independently for good governance and quality service delivery. In Lafia, Adams Abdul Kadri, NTA News.
Still on local government administration, the Supreme Court judgment on local government financial autonomy is bringing back the beauty of democracy at the grassroots in Nigeria, with people making laws that suit their peculiar communities. At the moment, quite a number of local government councils have been elected and inaugurated under a democratic setting, with legislative activities set in motion. John Yaku in this report takes a look at what is required to make quality legislation at the grassroots.
It will also help all the enforcement agencies to monitor the scavenging activities.
Timothy Raphael of Bitako Ward, who sponsored the bill, told the council that the activities of scavengers in Zing local government area has brought about lots of uncertainties.
A typical legislative proceeding not from the national or state assemblies, but Zing local government area legislative council in Taraba state. A bill to regulate activities of scavengers in the locality has been passed and signed into law by the chairman of the local government area.
Without regulating their activities, it may cause a lot of damages and disasters thereafter.
Elsewhere, the Abuja Municipal Area Council is currently working on the review of its bylaws.
In a very short moment, we will pass them and then they will pass and transmit it to the executive chairman for assent.
Many legislative councils in Nigeria have similarly passed or are in the process of passing various legislations in their localities that have direct impact on the lives of their people.
You must ensure that your local laws are homegrown, where you collect feedback from the various wards that you represent as local legislators. But most importantly, ensure that you scrutinize the budget.
Analysts say this is the beauty of democracy at the grassroots, as the 774 local government areas across the country will be able to make legislations to bring about the needed development.
Nigerians should actually be interested in the local government election and local government affairs, because that's where we're supposed to be breeding, that's where we're supposed to be, grooming leaders.
Quality legislation is said to be a product of quality legislators or councillors. This brings to the fore the question on how councillors could be well equipped to carry out quality legislation. The National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies is charged with the responsibility of building the capacity of legislators at all levels of government. What is the role of the institution in building legislative capacities at the council levels?
In the areas of lawmaking, we need to brush up their skill. We need to earn their skill. We need to train them. We need to build their knowledge for them to know the task ahead of them.
The practice of local government council legislation may have eluded the country for decades, but its return through the Supreme Court judgment will forever re-echo in the history of local government administration in Nigeria. In Abuja, John Yabu, NTA News.
That's the size of our package this evening. Don't forget to watch our news and other current affairs programs on our social media handles scrolling on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Abubakar Galadima. Bye for now.